Okay, we are on to the purple problem. This is one of the toughest of them all. So, at first, it seems like you know nothing, and that's what's so frustrating about this problem, is that it's not passing in a nice spot, and it doesn't have a nice vertex. I can't even see a y-intercept. It already looks like, something is being shrunk here. It's just really hard to tell really what's going on with anything here, because it's not following a y equals x squared pattern. So I started to notice on this problem that our x-axis is very scaled down. So this isn't 1, this is actually 1/4. And then that gave me some things about the problem. So if this is 1/4, that's 2/4, that's 3/4. So what's in between 2/4 and 3/4? It is not readily apparent. So if this was a test, I would tell you kind of what was going on. But basically that is the point, -2/3. So go ahead and write that down, 0. And the other one is 1, or -1, 1 1/4, 1 2/4. And then the other one is going to be just a little bit more. It is actually, so this was -2/3. This one is -1 2/3, which, remember in quadratics, you want to write it as a simplified improper fraction of -5/3. Here we go. Okay, so from here, let's go ahead and solve for the vertex. This is a little bit complicated, so stay with me here, guys. So we have this one and this one. So basically, to find the midpoint of these two, I would find the average of these two. So essentially, I would add them up and divide by 2. And that would give me the midpoint. So I would add these up, and I would get 7/3, or basically the absolute value of the two of them added together is 7/3. And then I get 7/3, and I want to divide that by 2, which in fraction land is times 1/2. And that is going to give me the ugly fraction of 7/6. So the vertex is -7/6. Now finally something easy. Down 2, well, not entirely easy, 2 1/4. Now remember, improper fractions. So -9/4. Go ahead and pause the video if you need to review that to make sure that you got it down. Okay, so from here, let's start to form the factored form of this equation. So I'm going to go y is equal to, now you remember from the earlier video what to do when we have these complicated fractions. So when we have these complicated fractions as they are, we are going to want to think of these as the answers and then what to put in here to make them 0. So take the denominator and put it here, as I said before, so 3x. Make it the opposite of this, plus, and then the numerator. And then stop for a second and see if it works. 3 times -2/3 is -2, and -2 plus 2 is 0, which is what we want. And then we come over here and we take the the denominator, make it the opposite of this, plus the numerator. And we have 3x plus 5, and then we take -5/3 and put it here and see if it works. 3 times -5/3 is -5, -5 plus 5 is 0. So at this point, we now have this big old thing in factored form, which is going to let us get it into standard form by doing simple FOIL. So first gives me 9x squared. The outer and the inner would be, let's see here, it would be 15x plus 6x, which gives me 21x. And then the last is just simply going 5 times 2 for a total of 10. We're almost done. We're 1/4 of the way done. Now we can easily spot the y-intercept. You may want to pause the video to see if you can do that. C is the y-intercept. When x is 0, we get y is equal to 10. So now we've solved this. Now for vertex form. So we have y is equal to our a value, parentheses, And then all we have to do is plug in our vertex. So we know that it's x minus h, so x minus a minus 7/6 minus 9/4. Please let me know if you have any other questions on this one, guys. The purple one was kind of tough. Let's go on to the yellow one in the next video. Thanks for listening.